Who better than to join us in the studio to preview the big game, England's destiny into the last eight. It is the Euro Game Day breakfast show hosts. It's your Natalie Sawyer and our Tony Cascarino. How are we doing, guys?
Very well.
Oh, man. I can start feeling my heckles coming up.
Yes.
Because, finally, Cole Palmer, Anthony Gordon and Kobbie Mainoo will either start or come on later in the game, because Gareth understands you can't pick those lads and go for a 0-0. Otherwise we'll be on the plane home the next day.
Yeah, I mean, Mainoo, I think, is pretty obvious he'll play now because he's been looking for that midfielder. Trent's come in, he's had a chance. Gallagher's come in, again, likewise, been left out for this game. I'm not sure how ambitious Gareth will be because as the game will develop, I think he'll then go, well, I need to change this around because I feel that England can comfortably beat Slovakia. I saw them they got the result against Belgium. I thought they were a poor team. They got lucky on the day. Belgium didn't punish them. They had 2 goals disallowed. So I expect a lot more from England because England are a better team than Belgium.
Yes, exactly. It's Jude Bellingham's birthday today as well. He's 21.
Yes.
And Eberechi Eze is 26.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, he's had his moment. He's had his Andy Warhol moment.
Yeah, I mean, so you're suggesting it's written in the stars then, because it's their birthday weekend?
Yeah, I think, what are you going to do for your birthday? I'm going to beat Slovakia.
Get through to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, because the Champions League wasn't on my birthday already. He's had a great year. So the question is, how much will Southgate mix it up? Because he is not just risk-averse, but he has this tremendous talent of ignoring the noise.
Yeah, he does. I agree with Cass. I can't see many wholesale changes. I think Kobbie Mainoo will start, but I think we know that anyway. I think that probably will be it.
Is that it? No Cole Palmer, no Anthony Gordon?
No, listen, what I will say about Gareth Southgate is if you look at the squad that he picked, you say he ignored the noise, but I think actually when it came to that squad, he chose a very offensive-looking squad, which he's never really done before. It's always been defensive-heavy. So maybe he listened to the noise at that point when he was thinking, I need to bring in more offensive players to placate everybody. But when it comes to actual team selection, I think he's a bit more cautious.
Yeah.
But he knows he's got players that can turn a game, that he can bring on. So, as you say, Anthony Gordon, Cole Palmer, Ollie Watkins, whoever it is, can go on and do it.
If you look, Johnny, on the
Love Ollie.
if you look on the substitutions,
Want to kiss Ollie?
Well, he used to play for my team, so
he did. I know.
understand.
We paid £28 million for that. For that
What a bargain,
Bargain, yeah.
It's turned out to be so.
you
Hasn't
could
it?
have paid 1.2 million for me when I was playing when I joined the Villa.
1.5, wasn't it?
No, 1.2.
Was it that? Oh, that was a bargain. Was that plus VAT?
Was it a bargain?
Was a bargain.
I done all right. I loved it in the Villa. I really loved it in the Villa. I didn't stay there long enough, but that's football.
I know.
But yeah,
We broke up your affair with Sheringham
I thought you
as
were
well.
going to say my relationships.
No, but you know that Sheringham Cascarino thing going on at Millwall, which was
well, they
so
nicknamed me
successful.
Ted. I don't know if you've ever heard that story. They nicknamed me Ted because they thought they signed the wrong one. They wanted Teddy Sheringham.
No way. We knew what we were getting.
Exactly.
We knew what we were getting.
Yeah. So look, I was saying to Nat before we come on air. It could be Gareth's last dressing room talk.
Yes, it could be.
You know, that's how blatant football can be, how cutting that it can be. And, you know, so you're going in there, you need to give your best team talk today. And then, yes, it's Slovakia, and people will look and go, that's a comfortable victory, or should be. Things can change very quickly. He has the armoury to bring on a Gordon, to bring on a Cole Palmer. He can. You average now. What are average substitutions? 3 a game, 4 a game for a team?
Yeah, 4 maybe.
So you've got the ammunition there to really hurt them.
There's a lot of self-starters in this England side as well. I mean, for example, you know, Gareth Southgate doesn't really need to state the bleeding obvious to people like Kyle Walker, he's a man, right? He's a guy who understands his position very, very clearly. You might be able to whisper something into his ear where he thinks to himself, yeah, I know that, I don't need to tell that, but it might galvanise him. There are other leaders in this England side. It's not just made up of kids. We do have that leadership, and you need that leadership in the dressing room. Tell me that's right.
Well, if you look at the age of them, of course, Trippier's in his 30s.
Yeah.
You've got John Stones, who's 30. You've got Kyle Walker, 33? You know, Gay, you know, he's a young man, but he's not. He's probably, what, 24, 24, 25?
I'd say like mid-20s.
So, yeah, there's experience. Do you know one thing that always frustrates me about when we talk about managers and being leaders, and they're men. They're men now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you go and lead. You don't have to be the captain to lead. You can inspire players by your performance.
That's right.
And also, but even the younger players who are, I'm talking teenage younger players in their squad, they are mature enough to be playing football at a professional standard. So therefore, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's already a maturity to those players because they've made the grade so early on.
That's right. Jude is 21.
21. And
Today.
he's part of the leadership group that Gareth Southgate put
Unbelievable.
together.
He's going to be skipper with 100 caps by the time he's like, hopefully, soon.
You never know with England. You might last 5 games.
I don't. Well, I don't.
Not Jude.
Talking of offensive, Jack Grealish put a wig on in Tenerife.
saw this.
Poor Jack. I mean, I'm looking at Jared Bowen in the squad. I'm thinking, why isn't Jack there? I mean, talking about offensive talent. He's not offensive enough, Jack, is he?
I agree with you. I think Jack Grealish was a miss.
Yeah.
I get the form situation. I get that he wasn't playing as regularly for Manchester City. And I get that also Gareth Southgate said he was picking players on form. But I do think a Jack Grealish can unlock those defences that have caused us problems because of the way he can dazzle through them and dance his way through. So some of those boring games we saw in the group stage for England, I think someone like a Jack Grealish would have relished that opportunity.
It's difficult. He's had a very indifferent season.
Yeah.
He's become, really, if you look at towards the end of the season when they played the FA Cup final, he was third choice. Doku started in front of him,
there.
you know, and he wasn't chosen as a sub to come on, which Doku came on in that game, and Foden played on the left to start with. So he's become third choice at Man City.
But he's still a player that
I
could,
totally
I think,
agree.
do damage, as well as, you're right, this season for City he's not played as much, but City are used to coming up against teams that are just going to be defensive heavy, are going to sit back and just hope that they can counter you.
Yes.
Grealish is used to that, so he could have perhaps made an impact.
Squeezed the pips out of him as well, because he was a talisman at the Villa. I mean, give the ball to Jack Grealish in a way that Alf Ramsey said, you know, give the ball to Bobby Charlton, in the way that Alan Ball said, give the ball to Matt Letizia.
Yeah.
And now he's, you know, he does all this crazy stuff with his hands, Pep Guardiola. He does crazy stuff. Jack's going, what's he talking about? Oh, no, mate, I don't know. What's he talking about? And he squeezes the pips out of the boy. And it's ended up with him having all the medals that he wanted. He got his medals, he won his trebles, and now he's not at the World Cup and he's not at Villa either.
That's a fantastic impression, John.
That's very good.
Yeah.
You missed that, guys.
I've got so much more in the locker.
But you're right. I mean, he went from Villa as being the big fish in the small pond. I'm sorry to say it, but being the small fish in a big pond. That's what it was.
We're in the Champions League.
No, this season you don't even miss him. You don't even miss him.
We don't miss him. We don't miss. They call him Joe down the Villa because we don't want to mention his name.
A Brummie accent every now and then.
I know. I'm sorry. But what's interesting is that we have played quite a lesser number of players. We've avoided injuries, we've avoided the draw, and so Gareth, for all the 0-0s and 1-0s and 1-alls that have been going on, he's right, isn't he? A week later, we can't criticise him too much. I'm not going to be quite as. I'm right behind. I've got to be right behind him, haven't I?
This is what we're going to do today, aren't we?
Yeah.
On TalkSport, we're going to be positive.
Yeah, that's what I want us to be.
Because ultimately, the aim was get through the group stage, and that's what they've done. Yes, it's not been the most exciting, but this is when it really truly counts. No second chances. Let's be
Knockout
positive.
football's different from group phase.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot more pressure on it. You're not so urgent in you know, England didn't have to do something dramatic.
Yeah.
Today, they do.
That's it. 3-0. And the press will be honest and will say, yeah, we're going to win it 3 games away. We're going to win, aren't we? And Cole will score late on. He'll get Harry will score a goal. Excellent.
Yeah.
We'll win easily. Tony?
I think England will do the job today and it will be comfortable.
Yes.
And it'll be different from what you've seen in the group stages.
Yeah, I agree with that. Natalie?
Yeah, I'm going with that as well. It was time that we put in a performance. I might go 2-0.
2-0.
Just slightly more
Tony?
conservative.
3-1.
3-1. OK, so 3-0, 2-0, 3-1. Let's see who comes out. I spoke to a Slovakian lady yesterday and she said, come on, Slovakia. And I said, what are you talking about? You've lived here 20 years. She said, OK, come on, Britain. So, you know, some of them have gone home already. Don't want to break the news to her. Tony, Natalie, have a great show. It starts at 6 a.m. here on, there on TalkSport. It's the Euro Game Day Breakfast Show. Thanks, guys, for coming in. This is Talk TV.